Happy Restorative Yoga day. Grab your couch cushions, blocks, blankets, pillows, whatever you're going to use to support your practice, and meet me in either a seated position or feel free to lay down on your back. We will, as usual, begin with our breathing exercise, and that's Brahmari Breath for the time being, which is our inhale by the nose and our exhale, gentle seal of the lips. We're just humming, kind of like an om with your lips sealed. That vibration that travels down the vagus nerve is really good for the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and digest, which is exactly what we want to be tapping into in our restorative practice and also for the majority of our waking hours. Not an easy thing to do in our modern day society. So let's practice it here, okay? So get comfortable if you're seated. Get comfortable if you're lying down. Maybe flutter the eyes closed. Just start to bring your awareness to your breath without controlling it just yet. See if you can start to breathe in and out through your nose. Let's take one more round of breath here. Emptying all the air out of the lungs. And we'll inhale to begin Brahmari breath, humming on your exhale. Take as long as you need to exhale fully. Inhale again when you're ready. And repeat. 3 more times like that. Last time. And then when you breathe in again, let your breath return to normal, in and out through your nose. You might blink the eyes open, come back into your space. We will set up for our first shape. It'll be a twist. We're going to come into deer pose. So deer pose is mainly about rotation of the spine, but for many of us, we'll often feel that in the low back and sometimes around the hips. So it's totally normal and fine if that's where you're feeling things. But just kind of paying attention as usual to where you're feeling sensation, where you need to add extra support, and how you need to support your body in a shape, especially important in our restorative practice. So we're going to set all the way onto our right hip. So go ahead and sit all the body weight onto your right hip, and then slide your left knee behind your right foot. So your left knee slides behind your right foot. And then, as you can see, if you're looking at me, I have this big, huge couch cushion snuggled up against my right hip. And I'm going to turn my torso. So I'm trying to get my belly, my chest, my torso face down on this couch cushion. I'm just going to frame it out with my hands, walk down onto my elbows and forearms. I'm letting my right cheek rest on the couch cushion. And you don't have to have this kind of support underneath your chest, but I find that the more support I give my body, the more willing my muscles are to relax. And the depth of the shape comes more naturally and quicker when I give myself more support, because my muscles are trusting, my nervous system is calm. I'm not forcing myself into some sort of shape sooner than I'm ready. We're going to be here for about 3 minutes, and then we will kind of change our shape before we switch sides. So just get as comfortable as you can. If you need to make any adjustments. And again, more belly, more chest face down on your cushion provides more twist sensation. So if you're wanting more, instead of being mostly on your right side, see if you can get chest and belly down. You can also turn this into a full cervical spine twist by picking up your head and turning your gaze over towards your right shoulder, so your left cheek would be resting in that case. If that's something you want to explore, feel free to explore it. But if it's too much on the neck, be willing to unwind the neck and come back to that starting shape. Settle back into your breathing here. Finding stillness in the body. Find a nice slow rhythm with your breath. We have a little bit less than a minute in this first shape. Take about 3 more breaths. If you turned your head away from your knees, slowly just unwind the neck first. Come back to that starting shape with the neck and pause there. Take about 2 more breaths. And then let's slide the hands underneath your shoulders, press your way up to a seat. Now we're going to turn around. So you keep, if you have that prop behind you, leave it where it is. Just extend your legs out long, and you're just going to lay down on your back with that prop underneath your spine. And if you want to add one in, if you didn't have one there before, feel free to add a prop in. We'll take a minute here before we switch sides. So this should be like a nice little supported back bend if you've got that prop underneath your spine. Otherwise, you're just laying down, relaxing, letting your spine be in a very neutral position. Breathing in and out through your nose. Maybe stretch the arms out wide or reach them all the way up and overhead. Get long through your whole body. All right, so now we're going to roll all the body weight off onto that left hip. You're going to come up to a seat on your left hip. Both knees pointing off to the left side. You're going to slide that right knee behind the sole of your left foot. Okay, so you have this staggered position in the legs. right knee behind the left foot, and your prop is snuggled up against that left hip. Now you're going to turn your torso, your belly, your chest towards your cushion, whatever you're using, towards the mat, towards the floor. Walk down onto the elbows. I recommend starting off with a neutral position in the neck. So in this case, your left cheek would be resting on whatever you're laying on. Knees stay wide, feet stay wide. They're in that kind of pinwheel-like shape. Settle in here to the breath. Setting us a timer for 3 minutes. And then if you're wanting to add on with the neck, you can lift up your head. You can turn so you're facing that left shoulder. That's going to put the spine into complete rotation all the way through the spine. Remember, if that's too much on the neck, if you're not breathing, if you're not able to relax the muscles around the neck, the shoulders, the jaw, unwind the head and let this just be about the lower half of the spine. How can you get a little bit more relaxed? Release a little bit more tension. Breathing fully and deeply. Through your nose if you can. About 3 more breaths where you are. If you turned your head away from the knees, bring your head back to that starting position. And then we'll all pause here and we'll take 2 more breaths. Start to slide your hands underneath your shoulders, press your way up to a seat. And once more, let's turn around so our prop is behind us if we're using it. And then as we lay down on our backs this time, give you the option to add on butterfly pose with the legs. So that's an external hip rotation. You can take the soles of your feet together, let your knees fall out wide. I like to have a little bit of support underneath the outer edges of my knees. So folded up blankets, throw pillows, yoga blocks if you have them. If you have a spare cat or dog lying around near you, you might try that. We'll take about a minute here or two. Maintain that slow, deep belly breath in and out through your nose. If your knees are wide apart, you can reach down with your hands, help your knees come back together. Feel free to sway the knees side to side. And then we're going to come to an upright seat and set up for a forward fold. And I'm going to give us a couple different options for that, as usual, because forward folds are so challenging for most of us. Our back bodies tend to be pretty tight, also pretty weak at the same time. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself a lot of support. All right. So when we're coming into a seated forward fold, the first thing we might want to do is maybe add some height underneath the sits bones. That's really helpful in putting that pelvis into a forward tilt, anterior tilt, so that when you're folding, you're starting your fold from your hips. You're not really starting your fold from your neck and your shoulders. That can follow, but you want to start that fold as a hip hinge. Second thing that can help a lot is if the hamstrings are tight, you keep your knees really deeply bent, and you can use props underneath the backs of the knees to help support that, so that when we hinge forward, our belly gets to drape onto our thighs because we're bending our knees so deeply. So you might try a couple of variations of those props. If you're not wanting to sit on something, maybe you're gathering props. I'll grab this big couch pillow over here underneath your belly and your chest. I mean, you could do that in addition to sitting on top of something. You don't have to do one or the other. So that your belly and your chest have something kind of tangible to rest on too. And some of you aren't going to come anywhere near this deep of a forward fold. Some of your forward folds are going to be looking more like an upright seat, and that's okay too, because you're still in a hip hinge. You can practice just tucking the chin in, taking a few semicircles with the head, see if you can get those scalene muscles along the neck to relax a little bit. As always, we're trying to meet our body where it is today. Letting the shape be secondary to sensation. Letting the shape be secondary to sensation. So notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling it first. See if you can use your breath to soften and deepen. The shape will come over time. Let that be secondary. And so we're here for about 3 minutes. See if with each exhalation, your body can find a little bit more ease, a little bit less effort. Take about 3 more breaths here. And then we'll nice and slow uncurl the spine. Head comes up last, arriving into that upright seat. Take a moment, breathe in at the top. Nice long breath out. Our next to last shape will be a supported bridge pose. And so you're going to choose a prop, and that can, again, be anything really that you have around you at home. I'm going to use my yoga block just because I like that kind of hard feedback, but couch cushions, even folded blankets tend to work really well in this shape. So you're going to bend your knees, plant your feet, lift your hips up enough to slide your prop underneath the sacrum. And the sacrum are the last 5 fused vertebrae of your spine. They form this triangular shaped bony protrusion at the very base of your spine. That's not your low back. Okay, so your low back is relatively elongated. Your prop is underneath the pelvis, which is below, just slightly below your low back. Like right at the top of the glutes, right where the glutes begin. You can choose to keep the knees bent and feet planted here. You could also explore stretching out through the legs. You could do it one at a time or both legs together. Whatever we're choosing, we want to make sure we're making mindful, conscious choices. Start to understand why you're choosing what you're choosing. Is it because you want to make progress and quote unquote look good in a shape? Remember that how the shape looks is secondary to how it feels. So pay attention to sensation. How does it feel? Is this sustainable for 3 minutes? Can you find stillness? Can you breathe deeply? Can you breathe through your nose? Can you relax your muscle tissue, especially those glutes and hamstrings and quadricep muscles, the leg muscles? Let's take 3 more breaths where you are. If you've started to stretch your legs out, rebend the knees and plant the feet. And then you might adjust your prop so it's a little bit now it's a little bit more towards your low back. We're going to bend our knees, hug them into the chest, float the feet off the floor, and then extend the feet up towards the ceiling. You can always keep the knees bent here and kind of just let the thighs rest in towards the chest if the legs feel heavy. We don't really want to turn this into an ab exercise. Getting your legs, your feet in particular, up above the vital organs is really good for circulation. So I highly recommend doing something along these lines, whether it be taking your legs up the wall or doing this in the center of the room if this feels easeful in your body, at least once a day. Maybe even before bed if you have that kind of headboard that you can swing your legs up against. It would be a great way to help your body settle and get ready for bed. I'll do this at night. I'll set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes and just hang out there and breathe slow and deep. Let's bring those feet back to the mat if they're still lifted. Take a moment, pause there in that supported bridge pose. And then we'll remove the prop if it's still there. Try to tuck your tailbone under and release your low back, then your pelvis, then your tailbone. And then if there's any other cravings for movement here, like maybe swaying the knees side to side a few times or coming into happy baby for a few moments. Just take a few moments to just do any final movement that you're craving before we set up for a final Shavasana. And then I'd recommend in your Shavasana having some support underneath the backs of the knees. So that could be your pillows again. If you have a couch close by, you could swing your calf muscles up against that couch. This is another great way to get that circulation, blood flow increase. Just even slightly elevating the legs above the vital organs of the body. So once you're in your final Shavasana position, try to relax your shoulders down your back. Try to tuck your chin into your chest. Stretch your arms out wide maybe if you want. You could also connect your hands to the body. Sometimes that's really soothing for the nervous system. Let's breathe in here through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Very gentle seal of your lips. Breathing in and out through your nose. Shavasana. Feel free to close your practice where you are on your back. We'll take 3 rounds of Brahmari Breath. If you'd like to come to that upright seat to complete your practice, you can begin to make your way there. See if you can keep that internal focus. So maybe the eyes stay closed or the gaze is just soft. Let's take a full round of breath together. Deep breath in through your nose. Out through your nose. Inhale to begin Brahmari breath. You're humming on your exhale. Inhale by the nose when you're ready. Hum on your exhale. One more round of Brahmari breath. Let the breathing return to normal. You can stack your left palm flat against your heart, stack your right palm on top of that. If you're seated, you can tuck your chin into your chest. Just feeling the resonance, the residue of your practice. With reverence and gratitude for the practice, to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis.